me tell you all about one of the longest comebacks that just happened in VR esports. So if you got a loop, this team up here, IVNA, just won the grand finals for season 3 for Breachers for the VR Master League. But let me give you a little history lesson on what exactly this team has gone through. So if you knew, back in the day, they actually used to be called the older guys. And we're talking all the way back to 2023, back in preseason. Then comes season 1, and it's a pretty big season for this team. They actually rebrand and become this team called Aspect. And Aspect in season 1 ends up having a great performance. They play second in the league. They're one of the few teams that have only beaten and tied against the first team in the league before going into the playoff season. So people are thinking, maybe the finals are going to be the first and second best teams in the league, and they get to basically have the rematch. But, playoff season basically loves having upsets because that doesn't happen. They end up getting knocked out in the first set of matches in the quarterfinals, and it's a pretty big upset from this team called Formula 3. So then comes season 2, and similar things sort of happen here. Aspects ranked second best in the league. And during the season, they actually don't lose to anyone else except for the best team in the league. So people are thinking, hey, maybe it's finally this season that Aspect gets to go on to the grand finals and gets to play against the best team in the league. But of course, the Breachers gods are not in their favors, and there's actually another upset. Formula 3 again comes in and upsets Aspect, knocking them out in the first set of matches. Now, then comes season 3, and there's another rebrand, as we can see here. They become IVNA. And it's a rough start to say the least here. I mean, check out these first 6 matches. 5 of them are losses. And then things really started changing around at the end of the season. I mean, we started seeing them knock out some giants. We saw them beat the 4th best team in the league. We saw them beat the 3rd best team in the league. They come in for this team here called Formula 3, which is at the time, guessing to be the best team in the league. And everyone's like, whoa, like, what's happening here? And then, there's kind of this interesting phrase that gets coined. It's, people talking about, oh, we're in an IV era now. And people are like, whoa, what's going to happen here? Are they going to go to playoffs and just dominate? And they do. They devastate their first 2 matches, beating them in 2 out of 3 rounds immediately. And I believe they're one of the fastest playoff matches that we had seen this season. And then eventually they got to the grand finals and win 3-2. It's a huge deal because for the first time in about 2 years, a new team finally has been crowned the best in the league. Because for season 0, 1, 2, it had always been this team Acer. They won the grand finals, establishing their own Acer dynasty finally. And I mean, kudos to the IVNA players. It's a long time coming, and it's crazy to think, we got to experience the Acer dynasty, but hey, we're now in an IV era, and we'll get to see if they can establish their own dynasty and win the next 2 seasons.